Computer. Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna discuss about Caapid. I can answer your questions and answer if you would want to unmute, ask question. That's totally fine. The more interactive you will make, the easier it is. I might take a break in between. I have a friend who's coming to pick a lawnmower that I have to wasn't planned, but I might take a little bit in break in between. I'll let you guys know. You guys can like grab some tea or coffee or something as well. But sorry. Okay. All right. So guys, okay. So right now we are in the Caapid, like what I call is the break time, like the mid-season of Caapid that's going on. What's happening right now is that we have half of the schools already sent their invites. Some of them are still sending. One thing you will see comparatively from previous year, if you applied last year as well, is that there is more Kiras happening. And you guys might have seen like a lot of school like San Antonio is sending Kira. Originally, when I started applying in 2020, there was only uh, one MMI at that time that was from USC. And US, like MMI is same like Kira, it's just different companies. But now more and more and more schools are doing these things. They are either doing Casper, they are either doing Kira. And you might be thinking, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Does anybody has an idea why schools are going for Kira now? Like,
So they can put filter easily, like on the candidates, so they don't have to like get a shock while interviewing candidates
anybody
and get to
want to make it?
know about candidates.
I
Okay.
researched about Kira. It so that after COVID-19, it was very difficult to, because of the social distancing and everything. They started having the Kira interviews so that they can access a lot of people, and the holistic interview, the soft skill they can um, evaluate so that they can. And they started this after COVID-19, I guess.
Okay. Well, here's the thing.
And I would add also one more thing. Maybe uh, for them nowadays, the communication skills may be much more important, and that would
Okay.
be the easiest way to test their communication skills.
Okay. Let me tell you. So for those people who want to pursue business after doing dentistry in US, one thing I'll tell you about US. You might have thought, why do doctors or dentists or nurses make so much money in America? Even a coffee maker makes more money in US as compared to if you're living in Europe or in India or Pakistan or Afghanistan or Nepal or Italy or anywhere else. The reason is in US, they on purposely create scarcity of employees. There are less number of dentists in US and there is a more need. In economics, they teach one thing that is called demand and supply. If you need more dentists and there are less dentists, then dentists can make more money, right? If there are more dentists, more and more dentists out there, nobody is going to pay you $100 for an extraction. So this is I know some of you guys might not be aware of these, but in business or in economics, there's something called demand and supply. Right now, what is happening, the number of students are increasing. The more, like when I was applying, there were 1,000 people. Now there are about 1,700 people applying. On the other hand, dental schools don't have enough staff and faculty to interview all of these people. A dentist's time or a human being's time in US is very expensive. For example, any employee who works in a dental school will charge $20 to $25 per hour to work there, right? And if they have to talk to each and every person, it's a lot of money. So what America does, and it's not just for dental schools, if you go to a primary physician, if you work as a dental assistant, we as dentists see people like we are seeing, like we just run from one room to the other. You guys must have seen. That's how the American system is, the business system is. So what they are doing is they are using AI and computers and technology to decrease their human workload. So rather than employing 10 people to go and interview these 300 candidates, they are using these automated system. The reason I'm telling you this is because in future you will see more and more of this. Eventually there will be AI which will just listen to your conversation and create a result about you and give it to the dental school. America is all about automating things. The reason Invisalign became a big thing because orthodontists are very expensive people and their time is very expensive. So what they did, they were like, oh, let's create softwares that can create orthodontic trays and do the movement for us. So America overall, if any of you guys have a very good or like a business plan and you can automate it, you will be billionaires in America. My problem is I can't figure out how to automate myself. But the thing is, if and in future, if you know any skill or you're creative and you figure out a way to automate it, you will make a lot of money in US. That's how US work. That's the whole concept of US business. So coming back to the Kira, what I'm trying to tell you is that slowly you will see more and more Kira happening. Why? Because schools want to save their time and use technology. Okay. What is one of the things I will tell you about Kira? You might have heard in my videos, if you have not heard before, that Kira is not like a human interactive interview. Like right now, I'm looking at you guys and I can see from your face if I'm making you fall asleep or are you getting interested in the conversation or how things are going on, right? But if this is totally recorded and I can't see anybody's face, you're playing in the dark. So what I tell people when you're preparing for an Kira interview, make sure you give your answers in a way that even a dentist, a non-dentist, or a layman can understand what you're saying. Do not say things that are so complex that the other person have to Google it because you don't even know who the other person is, right? So this is one of the things a small point for people who are preparing for Kira. The recorded sessions I have, the online video, that's something I point out a lot. And you will see more and more Kira happening as you move forward. Okay. Now, coming to the Caapid right now, and you guys can ask questions wherever you are right now. The Caapid is in the mid session. In the mid session, what's happening right now is half of the schools have sent their invites, doing their interviews. Some of them are going to continue to do interviews. And what is happening, school like Columbia, I don't know if any one of you have given their interview. They are doing interview for 6 minutes, literally 6 minutes. The program director is a busy person. He'll open up. Hi, nice to meet you. We read it. We're going to make it brief. Tell us about yourself. Why do you want to come to Columbia? Why should we pick you? Okay, thank you very much. Take care. That's it. Pretty much what it means that 90% of decision they have already made about you. I don't know if any of you have gone to, like in Pakistan, when we go for US embassy visa, they just ask you 2 questions, decide to give you the visa or not. That's how it is. And up there in schools like Columbia, they are just trying to see if you can communicate like confidently, if you're somebody who is presentable. And remember, schools like UCLA, Columbia like to keep a certain reputation. They like to be like they want to act like the Ivy Leagues. UPenn like to do it too. So this is something they try to, like, they want to see you're a confident person, you're well presented, and you know that why do you want to come to Columbia and you would be able to survive in New York. So somebody posted a question. I applied Columbia 10 goes, Doc, I don't work in their office. One of the things I keep requesting people that, yes, I have some information about dental schools, but neither I'm a magician, neither do I work in the offices. So what is going to go inside their office, I don't exactly know. If you've already applied, now go and pray rather than asking me. or keep working hard and keep applying to other schools, because Adriel is not a magician who will say and things will actually happen in the same way. They might see your application, they might overlook it. I can't say. So best in this situation, if you applied, I tell people once the bullet is out of the gun, stop thinking about it, because that's a sign. People who are weak minded keep on thinking about decisions that have already been made. If you're somebody who's applied, you've got a decision, you've not got a decision, move on, move forward. There's a lot more things to be done in life. So go rather focus on things that you can change, things that you can improve, and stop thinking about things that you have done. So if you applied, leave it, go and work on something else that is more important. And to be honest, I don't have an answer of how their office is working at the moment, because I am not inside the system. That's what I tell people. So don't ask me questions which an office member would know. Okay. Dr. Shruti, you asked a question. It's to evaluate how we think it. Oh, okay. You're talking about that. They don't want to. Okay. All right. Anybody want to unmute and ask a question?
Yes, actually, I do have a question, and that is a related question to the doctor just asked that question. So my question is this: I am just done with my Caapid. I'm planning to start applying by 20 this month. And I hear that there are some schools who have just started inviting candidates, but still I see that their deadline is not over. I think since their deadline is not over, so I can apply to those schools no matter if they have invited people. And logically, they shouldn't ignore or overlook my application. So now I don't know if they overlook or if
Okay,
they.
let's keep it brief. So what you're saying, you're asking if you're going to apply at these time, which schools you should apply, and the deadline part you're asking about, right?
Yes.
So
If
okay,
yes.
okay. So to keep it brief, I think you can apply to schools. There's something called, I've shown it earlier. If you go on ADEA Caapid directory on Google, ADEA Caapid directory, you can see deadlines. So if the school deadline is still far away, if their admission is non-rolling, apply to those schools. Now, if somebody says the deadline is 5 days after this, should I apply or not? I don't have the answer. That's totally up to you. I just tell people apply as early as humanly possible. Obviously, we are human. Some of us had family issues, some of us doctors, some had issues, so they couldn't uh, apply early. It's fine. Just do whatever the best you can do humanly. All right. And just you have to wait and watch. There's no fixed answer to this situation. You have to just try and see how things work out. I don't have a quick fix or a solution for that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Dr. Doa, you asked if you guys want to unmute and ask, it's fine. I'll try. I might not be able to read all the questions. So if something gets overlooked, it gets overlooked. But Dr. Doa, you said, tell us what we should expect at this time when the schools contact for interviews. If not selected, they are sent rejection. Some of the schools don't even send rejections. I would just say if you get an acceptance in your inbox or a call, that's it. If you're not getting anything, move forward. Don't my I wish I had a better way to make the female candidates understand. They keep worrying about things that are beyond their control. And I keep and the males do it too up here, but majority are female. I want you to understand, if I was you, the day I would give the interview and it's done, I shake off my hands and I look for the next stuff to do in my life. If they're gonna send me an invite, good for them. If they don't, they're lost. Because
Dr. Adriel, it's easy to say that.
Dog, do you think I was born in America in the house of Donald Trump? I'm coming from Lahore, Pakistan. If I tell you stories of which buses I had to catch in Lahore and which motorcycles broken down I had to travel on. It's life. It's just about, it doesn't make a difference about, you might see things differently, but there might be somebody whom back whichever country you're from, there might be somebody who looks at you and might think you have everything easy. Trust me, everybody, I see dentists who are doing full arches, who have like multi-billionaire practices, and I would say, oh, their life is so easy. But the problem is when you go and sit in their place, everybody up here is fighting a fight. You are fighting a fight, I'm fighting a fight, the people above us are fighting a fight. The greatest of all of them are the people who know that whatever I'm going through, it's God's plan, and I'm going to go through my journey and get where I'm supposed to go.
Sir, I have a question.
So you might feel like it's easy for me to say, but trust me that I'm glad whatever I've seen in my life, I've seen it, but everybody goes through their certain journey. And the point I'm trying to tell you, the more desperate and worried you are, the farther away opportunities will go away from you. If you open up any religious book, any religious, whether Abrahamic, whether Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, you will see one thing common in all religious texts is have faith and look for the positive things. The problem is, as a human flesh, we have a very strong tendency to look for negative things in human beings and in ourselves too. And I've learned one thing, Doc, give yourself advice like your friend. You're a friend of yourself. If, for example, Dr. Rafe comes to me, oh, my car broke down, I'll say, it's fine. Give it a day or two and get it fixed. It's fine. It happens to everybody. But it's very hard for me to give myself this advice.
I have a question.
The thing I'm going to, just give me 1 second, Doc. The thing I'm saying is treat yourself like a friend and think logically rather than emotionally. I know it's not easy, but life isn't easy. This is America. All of us in one way or another have to go through certain difficulties to get where we are.
Hello, doctor. This is Dr. Dua, the one who asks the question. Actually, I'm totally understanding your answer. My question, it was like just I want to put a time frame. It's not like I'm attaching or I'm waiting.
There's no time frame in it. Because what happens, some school, Boston sent me rejection after I was in the first year of Colorado.
Oh my God.
So I wouldn't even care at that point because they understand them. I say this in my other video. There are like 3 or 4 people maximum working in one office, and there are about 1,700 applying. And these people, trust me, the people who are working in these places are not really enjoying their job. Jobs suck wherever you work. If you're working on jobs, it's very annoying. So what people are doing in these offices are trying to get done. Like their job is to select 30, 20 people or whatever number of people, take their fee, finish the admission, and shake off their hand for the season and relax for 2 months. And I say this in my video that you can help them by making sure you apply everything on time and you write things in good way and communicate well, you make their job easy. But they don't have enough. Once they selected their 10, 15 people, they keep another number of people, I don't know the exact number, on waiting. So if somebody drops out, they pick one person from the waiting. But for the rest of the people, if they have time, they will send rejection. If they don't, they aren't worried. Like somebody in the group was saying, Colorado sent them rejection even though they did not apply to Colorado. Like they got a rejection letter from Colorado, and even they never applied to Colorado. So the system is like, you know how some back in Pakistan, we would have a Friday market where things will be sold off for cheap and there will be so much busy, like everything will be busy. Like if you've seen a video of maybe a train in Delhi, something like that, and it's like a bit, so for them, their inbox is very full. So if I was you, I wouldn't expect a communication. If they did send you, that's good enough, but mostly they don't even send you that. I hope that answer, but okay.
Sir,
Somebody,
I have a question.
yes.
I wanted to know, as you said, like we can apply in the schools where the deadline is not reached yet and they are not on the rolling basis. How about the schools where they already sent out an interviews and they are on the rolling basis and the deadline is not reached yet?
I don't have an answer. I would, if you have the money, play. You have to play. This is just like gambling at this point. Either you can see, there are two kind of regrets in your life. One is regret of not trying. One regret is trying and not getting it. I personally am somebody who would rather regret by trying. I
Sure.
might get rejected, but I'm still gonna go in and ask the question. So that my suggestion would be, if you financially can, do it. Because here's the other thing. Schools, majority of school, including Colorado, likes reapplicants. So okay, you apply. They did not give a crap about you. You were late, right? But next, you can be on time and you can show that you were interested in them and you applied and you want to make sure this time everything gets right. Schools do see that. So
Okay.
remember one thing, Dr. Nas. I talk to people who are older, like older age group, people who are businesses, staff, professional. One thing we all discuss, regardless of what happens in life, there is always a way to use it to your benefit. If you got rejection, if you think your money got wasted, it never got wasted. You haven't figured out how to utilize. So you send money, they did not care about it. So I finished all my TOEFL and exam and all of this in November. And I applied to Colorado. I started applying. I finished up all my documents in January. And I applied to Boston. And I called Boston to be like, I applied. I haven't heard back. He said, your application came 4 days before the deadline. We can't do anything. Well, like, fine. But then it worked out with Colorado. So I moved there. So it happens. It happens. If I was going to reply, I was going to call Toby again or email him and say, hey, last year I was 4 days late, but this time I'm 4 days early, even before it's starting. Just letting you know I'm the same guy. As long as you're not annoying the hell out of them. The biggest problem that I've seen in most candidates, because we are so desperate that we start to annoy these people with our conversations or communication. You have to communicate in a the key thing I tell people, if there's a president, there's a minister, there's a dean, he always has a PA sitting outside, right? The PA, I call these PA are the doorkeeper. They are the gatekeeper. If you treat them fine, you will get access to the prime minister or the president. If they hate you, if you bug them, if you annoy them, or they don't like you, you're never going to get access to that person. That's how life is. So make sure these admission coordinators, whenever you're emailing them your content, they remember you. If you annoy them or you keep emailing them and you're communicating in a weird way, and my biggest request to all the people who are watching, everybody, do not use the word ASAP in America unless you're the boss of a big company and you're running employees. I get candidates who are like, Dr. Adriel, can you do this ASAP? And I'm like, are you crazy? Like saying ASAP? Like ASAP is a very rude word. It's like telling somebody you're my bloody slave. Do this. So that's my one of the things. So overall, the point is you communicate in a professional way. One of the things that's easy for, as long as you've done your exams and everything, when it comes to filling in your application, the way you communicate, the way you fill in your application makes a lot of difference. If you spend 20 minutes to say one line, and as compared to that, if you can just say that same thing in 1 minute, you will be more respected because you saved their time. Okay. The next, does that make sense, Dr. Nas?
Yes, thanks, Zach.
Sure. So, Dr. Rizvi, you said, does Colombia prefer quiet or outgoing people, humble or cocky? Well, Doc, there's no right answer to this. If you've seen most of my video, there is a fine balance between life. The point is nobody can actually decide if you're cocky or quiet in 6 minutes. If I or you get to talk to anybody for 6 minutes, it's very hard to decide whether who they are. So by the end of the day, what I can tell you from my research, that there are scientific research that says people who are good looking and people who are extrovert, I'm not using the word cocky, humble, quiet, outgoing, because you're not going out on the computer, they don't know. But if you're an extrovert ability to communicate to other people, being open to work along with other people. If you're extrovert and good looking, your chances of getting accepted to dentist to any interviews is better. It's just how interviews are. Interviews are not a fair system. Okay, guys, give me 15 minutes of break. If you're comfortable, I just have to do a quick task and I'll be back. You guys can grab water. We'll see at 2:45, 15 minutes from now. Okay? Is that fine? I'm sorry, I have to take this quick break.
Enjoy your break.
So, see you guys in a few seconds.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Rafi, have you got any invites from any college that you have applied to? You are muted. I think you're mute. You have muted your microphone.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Rafi?
Good. Actually, no, I was late. I'm just done with filling my Caapid. I haven't applied yet to any school.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to apply by maybe after 20 this month, but I haven't applied yet. What about you?
I have applied to a couple of colleges and I have given the Kira from the UT Health San Antonio. I give Kira for Columbia. I give NYU. I gave. I have applied to a couple of colleges and I'm just waiting for interviews. And Dr. Adriel William said that half of the colleges have sent their invites already. So I'm just waiting.
That's nice. Wish you best of luck. Let me ask you, is this your first year you're applying?
Yes, doctor, it's my first cycle. And what about yourself?
Yes, this is also my very first time, the first application.
Yeah.
Also, let me utilize this 15 minutes.
Yeah.
In my Caapid application, it asks me about experience, achievements. I explained everything, put all the descriptions, but I didn't find any space to put, my certificates, achievement, documents as proof. The only thing I see is, dental degree.
Voy al dólar. Cereal 5.
Yeah.
Adiós, gordita. Se durmió.
I think someone is speaking.
Formilus?
You're saying that you didn't find any spot to show your certificates and your achievements, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This thing, the colleges,
No te entendí, ahorita vengo.
they will.
Esther, tienes el audio prendido.
Sorry, I'm.
En el 5 pónmelo.
I know.
Y si ven
Because
las
they're
voces.
unmute.
Yeah.
Doctors in the background, can you please mute yourself?
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I was saying that the colleges here where we apply to many of colleges and we want to show them that we have this many achievements, we have these rankings, or we have got something that we want to show them. That's not from my experience. By applying this, I got to know that they don't want any proof. They trust you, and if you have given anything with your sincerity and honesty, they will trust you. And while they will, even in the section where we put our experiences, we write the names of the supervisor, the email address, the phone number. Yeah, they trust, and we
comprar una cosa que necesito para trabajar hoy.
Yeah.
No. Está bien. Bueno, luego nos vemos.
Still, can you please mute yourself?
Yeah. And about your any references you want to give you, and they will never take those references if they think that you are taken. if you can understand what I'm saying, that they trust you and you have to be honest. We cannot fake anything, right? We don't want it to fake anything. We want to be honest because it's our one of the most important application in our life, and we cannot fake things like even I have got this achievement, that achievement, nothing. They will just trust you. If they like you, they will send you an invite, and that's the point. They will know by seeing our faces, by the way how we are talking. They will do that. But I don't think they want any proof. But some schools and colleges in the supplemental applications, they have spots where you can upload your. There you can send, they have some extra sports that they can ask you, can you upload your license? If you have a dental assistant license, they will ask you that you can upload their license there. Even the spot is there in the Caapid application, that in the licenses you can always upload the dental assistant license, dental hygiene license, CPR, and everything. And after you complete the Caapid application, there comes the part of supplemental application, and that's very big thing. If you apply to many colleges, the supplemental application will take you more than a month. So in some of the colleges, they ask specifically for some documents, like if you want to share any achievements with them, they have a part and you can upload there. But even you upload, if you, even you don't upload there, they will trust you. They will trust your application. It's your application, it's your personal statement. And if they like every data that you have given them, call you or send you invite, send a bench prep, and that's how it goes.
I think I have a reply for Dr. Rafi's question. So, doctor, you were asking that you want to mention about your CE courses and certifications somewhere, and you cannot find a spot in Caapid application. If I'm not understanding it wrong, right?
Yes, correct. I was saying that I,
Yeah.
put all the
So,
descriptions, but I have the certificates, the images, but I did not find any place. For example, the only place I can see is the documents, and that specifically tells me dental degree diploma, and I got
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me guide you for that. So in that case, there is one option, like there is one section where they tell you other relevant information, like I think it was in the academic section or somewhere. So what I did was, in I utilized that section and uploaded my important CEs, like I attended in the conferences, and like my bench course, and like the big things that you want them to know that you have done. So you can utilize that space and mention your certifications and some CE courses that you think that they should know that you have completed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Right?
did. What I was saying, there is a place I have my application open in front of me. I can briefly provide information and description, but I was saying I cannot add any image. Am I
No,
right?
you cannot do that. They don't want that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Also, a last question. In the document section, can I add my diploma plus my house job certificates and transcripts, or only my
Only
dental
diploma.
only
diploma?
your diploma and certificate. And for the C courses, in if you apply to Caapid for the C course, what I did for the C courses was every college I applied, every most of them, like if I applied to almost 20 colleges, and out of 20 college, 15 colleges have will ask you for a CV. And in CV, you can always write everything about your CE, where you attended, the date, who was the presenter, and the credit hours. And there are 3 to 4 colleges, they specifically ask your CE credits,
Okay, so
like,
do you recommend removing my house job certificate and transcript and only include my dental degree diploma?
I would do that because they didn't ask for your house.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. That's correct. You just need dental diploma over there.
Okay, and also I was given first, our diploma in our native language, and I included both native plus English, or should I include both or just English
both,
version?
both.
Can I,
Okay,
with
can we
your
hear?
with your certified translation. Yeah.
okay.
Dr. Govinda, if I could ask, can you just give us briefly about or speak briefly about your experience in Kera? I'm not familiar with it at all. It's my first application cycle also, but I just want to understand how it is, like in general.
Yeah, for me, I'm not kind of the person that who can talk a lot, you know. So first of all, first interview I got for was from QT Health San Antonio, and they ask you a couple of answers like how can you handle pressure like that. Certain the like soft skill, how you work in a teamwork environment. You know, if you are working at a teamwork, they asked me a question that you were in a fight with your coworker, and how imagine a situation that you were in a fight with your coworker and you didn't like him or her, and how did you solve that problem and how did you recover from that. So and every Kira interview that asked me the same question, and it's at the moment when I was giving the interview, I just whatever came in my mind, I said the answers. I got Kira from NYU, and I have invited for the advanced standing day for the NYU also. I'm invited for the interview.
Congrats.
Thank you. And
Congrats.
I have been invited for the bench press University of Alabama also, and I'm waiting for more because I'm not sure where I'm gonna be. But I just want to be, you know, if one interview goes wrong, I can just amend my mistakes from that, and I can go to the other one. Hopefully, if I can, I want to get into the first interview, but I just not. I'm not confident enough, and I'm not, as Dr. Adriel said, I'm not so much extrovert, and I'm not like that. But I want to be. I want to improve myself, and the Kira is just they ask the same thing in every most of them. They ask how do you work in a teamwork environment, and how can you how can you be sensitive to the cultural differences in the United States, such thing. And if they had asked me a question like there is a patient and he or she doesn't want a treatment because of their religious beliefs or cultural beliefs, how do you explain that to him or her? And but you want to give the treatment, but the patient doesn't want the treatment because of the cultural differences or something. And some patient does not like you just because they have a perception in the mind. You are from different culture and they are so different, and you feel that they don't like you. And how do you proceed and such questions? And you have to give a very diplomatic answer. You cannot say even we don't like or we like. We have to say I will go like that. And I just what I was doing in my work. I worked as a dental assistant, and what I did there, I just told everything. Like I did that, I did that, because sometimes things happen in the. Sometimes if you work in, if you are working, there will be times that you don't like a person or you like a person, or there might be some patient that they are always and they can be some different from you, or you are the person that's different from them. In my scenario, I was the different one because everyone was from United States and I was from Nepal and struggling to speak English also. You know how TOEFL is, and everything is going in back in your life, and everything you are in the clinic, and what happens, I just explained there. And the good thing about Kira is they have enough time to answer. You know, like in TOEFL, you have 1 minute and you have to rush everything, you have to collect every thoughts and there. But in Kira, they give some Kira give 1.5 minutes, some give you 2 minutes, and you have enough time to answer. Just you need the right answer. That's all. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have one question over here. If anybody has applied to you, I see they are asking for separate mark sheets for each semester, and I do not have them all. So, did anybody face this kind of problem, and how they like overcame with that?
What college are you talking about?
I applied to UIC, University of Illinois. So they are asking to upload a separate mark sheets for each and every semester.
Yes, doctor. Yes, that is only for the students who are from India and Pakistan. I believe.
Yeah, I'm from Pakistan.
Yeah, that's why they are asking. And if they are asking, you have to give them. There was one instant that it was not from UIC. It was from I don't remember, but it was from University of Michigan, I guess. And our college did not have any dean, or the head of our college was principal, and my late the principal and director of the dental school, and the letter of recommendation that my head of the school wrote, his position was written as the director of dental school, and they said that
Oh,
your letter should be written as dean. And
okay.
I applied from Pakistan to UIC, but they didn't ask me for uh, a term by term worksheet.
From which school did you in which school did you go to in Pakistan?
I am from Karachi, so I went to Ziauddin.
Okay, so you didn't have any kind of like semester or module kind of system over there?
I did have a semester and module system, but the transcript, like they didn't ask me for any of that. They didn't ask me for my original transcript or anything.
Okay, because I am keep calling them and they are not even receiving the call. I email them everything, they are not answering and just keep asking in the email for separate mark sheets. I don't know what to do.
yeah, if you can communicate with your university, I'm sure that they can send you the official mark sheet of every year. That's how our university used to do. And I, for this reason, I saved my university mark sheet of every year, but they didn't ask me to. So it depends upon or the university or where you are going. Welcome back.
Dr.
Yeah,
Dr.
I
Govinda,
applied in Tufts and they got like I got an email that my application is incomplete and I need to put letter of recommendation from the organization where I worked more than a year, and they uploaded a letter of recommendation. It's been a week, I
Okay.
think, and more, but I didn't get any acceptance letter for the letter of recommendation. I didn't get any completion letter yet.
What college are you talking about?
Tufts.
Yeah,
Tufts. Yeah, yeah.
Tufts is a little slow with that because even I sent it separately and they took like 10 days to get back
So
and
will they
tell you.
consider my
Hello,
application
guys.
or not? Because they have started sending invites.
Hopefully they will, but even with me,
Guys.
they took a
Hello.
while to tell me that
Hello,
it's
guys.
confirmed.
Doctors. Hello. Hi. Okay. All right. I'm sorry I'm disturbing the conversation up here. My bad. But I just wanted to jump back in and let's resume the thing. And I hopefully whatever you were discussing about Tufts, we can continue about that too. All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Same
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
They asked me for a letter of recommendation from the organization where I worked more than a year, and then they sent the letter of recommendation. It's been a week,
So
but I
doc,
didn't get
doc,
any.
doc, and what I was saying actually, we can come back to Tufts discussion in a few minutes if that's fine with you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Okay. So coming back to Dr. Rizvi's question, which she was asking if you have to be quiet or an ongoing or a quiet person uh, or a humble or cocky, I would say ideally you should create a balance where you're paid to be, because nobody can actually see what kind of a person you are in an interview. Paid to be confident. All right. You want to seem like somebody who can communicate, who's willing to be a student, and who will be a good team player. Those are the key things that they are trying to look into a person. And how you can do it is by giving examples or stories or experiences that back it up, like mentioning about something like sports you did. That's a sign of being part of teamwork, or showing them the kind of phrases you use. When I train people, I hear somebody saying, I did a BDS, I did a master's, I was the president of my ADA society. And I tell them, rather than saying this, use the word that I had the opportunity to work or serve as the president of the ADA society. Now, both of them mean the same thing. But rather than doing, I did this, I did that, mention that I got the opportunity to learn this while working in an administrative post, or while working as a dental assistant, or while working as an associate. So the way you phrase your words, that should help you. All right. Now, coming back to Tufts question, do you guys want to ask the question what you were talking about, Tufts, please?
Yeah, same thing happened to me also, and I just
What's the question, Doc? Can you tell what's the question?
The question was that Top had asked for extra letter of recommendation from where you have volunteered for and so since we have only 3 spots of letter of recommendation on the Caapid application, so one extra letter they were asking, and same thing, the doctor who asked the question, same thing happened to me, and I asked volunteer organization to send the letter directly to the official website of top, and after 3 days I got the acceptance of the letter. Yeah, but she's
So
saying that.
Indiana does the same. So there are a couple of schools which will ask you a letter of recommendation, which might be different. Tufts does
Yeah,
it, Indiana
it
does it. The best way, as you mentioned, Doc, is to just send that, ask that evaluator to send that letter officially to the school where it's needed.
yeah, I
Now,
did.
yes. So I had giving us, it happened to me, somebody wrote a letter and it was not signatured. It wasn't hand signed. And recently somebody told me that they got email from 7 school that one of your letters is not hand signed. And they were very worried that they are not going to get the admission and everything. And I told them, in this kind of situation, just ask your evaluator to re-sign it, fix the thing, and email it directly to the school. That that really helps. So what you did was the right way. If at any point you guys have trouble like that, just ask the evaluator to directly email it to the school, and then yourself send an email to the school again confirming that the letter has been sent by the evaluator.
Yeah, I did that. That's what I did.
Okay. And then
Can I ask a question? Hi. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who do you want us to answer? I mean, who do you...
Doctor, I can't pronounce the name, Dr.
You can call me Chi.
Yes,
Chi is fine.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Adriel. I have watched a lot of your YouTube videos and I'm grateful for all the support you've been giving us. My question is for group interviews. I have watched videos where you talked about that, but how best do you think a candidate can position themselves to give a good impression, to show in that group interview that they are a team player, that they can integrate well, and that sort of stuff? Thank you.
Good question, because NYU right now is sending invites which are group, and I think wearing really good jewelry would be one of them. I'm joking. Well, there are a couple of things I'll tell you. For NYU and some other schools.
Sorry, Doc. I actually asked this question because I have my NYU interview coming up.
Yeah, I know. I understood that. And I'm glad you asked, because a lot of people would have NYU interview question. So one of the things I'll tell you, in this kind of group interviews, there are a couple of key pointers I would encourage people to remember. Number one thing, for NYU specifically, your interview won't start from the first question. It will start from the time you walk into the school and they see you. Human beings create judgment about other people in the first 5 minutes. The first impression, from there, they look at your face, your presentation, the way you stand, the way you speak. They judge you from there, what kind of a person you are, and if you're going to be a good team player. All right. So I would advise, make yourself whatever is comfortable in according to your own gender culture. Wear professional clothes that makes you feel comfortable and confident. And the way you're going to interact and the way you're going to perform is going to be decided by your last night's sleep. So imagine if you're traveling to New York, if you don't live there, and it's a new hotel, you took a flight, and New York can be crazy, the airport can be crazy, and you did not sleep well, most probably it's going to affect the way you're going to perform the next day. So I tell people, make sure you have a good sleep, and the way you're going to carry out yourself, as soon as you walk in, they are looking at you. The next most important thing in a group interview that I've seen as a problem happening is people get influenced by the neighboring person or by other people, and then they try to act in reaction to them. For example, there was a candidate, just because so in NYU, they go in group and they say, tell me about yourself, tell me about yourself, tell me about yourself. And the first person said, I did research and I worked with a professor of Harvard, I've done that and that. And now the other person felt, I need to one up. I need to catch up to this person's tell me about themselves. And then they started to say things in comparison to what that person said. So one of the key things I tell people is you want to prepare your own answers or what makes you unique or what makes you stand out, and then stick to your own zone. When I have exams or I have to go for a bench exam or ADEX exam, I used to just wear headphones and go to school, because I know as soon as I walk in, there are going to be 30 people who are oozing stress, who have a lot of stress, and they are just like oozing it everywhere. And if I get in their air, I'm going to catch it. So I try to zone myself out, because by the end of the day, whether I get accepted or not, it's up to God to decide. My job is to go in there, enjoy my time, so they remember Adriel even the next couple of days. That's the whole thing that I teach people for interviews. You can't control the result. And if you keep going desperately after the result, it's going to chase away from you. If I'm talking to you right now and I'm trying to impress you and I'm like overemphasizing it, you will see it. So what I try to tell people is, if you're paying all this money, you made all this effort, you're coming from your hometown and you're like getting this opportunity, give your inner child an opportunity to tell the story of your life. If you're coming from a country where you went through certain hardships, you did different jobs, whatever you did, went through your master's, BDS, whatever, enjoy telling that story about yourself. Imagine somebody's giving you an opportunity to write a book on yourself. And I'm not saying speak so much that the other person get annoyed. You have to be precise, you have to be professional, but your job is to make yourself enjoy that conversation and the other person. Don't try to impress anybody, because the rest of the 5 morons are going to be doing the same thing. And you're just going to become a part of a herd. It becomes like a sheepish mentality. So one of the key things to stand out is do not budge into the stress that the rest of the people are releasing up there. That would be the main first thing I will tell you, Doc, for this. The other thing, stay confident. Just know what you're going to say when it comes to your tell me about yourself and all of that. That's important. I hope that.
Sorry to cut you short. On the question, tell me about yourself. Can you also tell me something to make sure it's in there?
It's tell me about yourself. So you're the one who have to tell about yourself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share a video in the group, in my WhatsApp group. I've made a video a couple of years ago that could help you create tell me about yourself, like how you can create your answer.
Dr. William,
Thank you so much.
I have 2 basic questions
Okay,
regarding
wait, Dr. Rafi, wait. There was Dr. Sanya who was trying to talk way earlier. You can come after, like you can raise your hand. I'll give you like after this you can come.
Okay.
Hello, Dr. William. Thank you so much for conducting so many sessions so far. So it has been really interesting listening you on the YouTube channel. And I have a very basic question regarding to the CE courses which we do. So I haven't catched up with CE courses so far. So I'm just trying to figure out to do some of the free courses which are available online, like Colgate and rest all. So do the dental school consider if we upload the certificates which is given through a free resource? Is it like valuable to spend a lot of time in searching and attending?
Okay, for just to make this answer brief, when it comes to CE, do whatever you can afford and whatever is possible. If you can pay and go and take a CE courses in the school next to you, then go ahead, do it. But if you can't do that, time, money wise, then do what you have online. There is the more credible the places. If you go to Midwinter Conference in Chicago or New York Greater Conference or a CE course at Rutgers or something, the more credible it is, the better it is. But you will say, Doc, I can't travel. Well, I'll say make the best out of what you have. So if it's online, it is just do the one that you have.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
I think I got my answer.
Oh, sure, doc. Sorry, it got mute in between. But
No, it's okay. Okay, so this is regarding to TOEFL. I mean, it is taking a great toll
okay.
on me because I have been working on it. Like I, after the new pattern, I appeared like last week for the TOEFL exam. I just scored 91. I'm still working on my TOEFL to score 100. So I have seen many applicants still, even after scoring 100. I mean, they are like, we are still competing with others, and dental schools aren't satisfied with 100 even, so they need
So,
to
doc,
score like
here's the thing. First of all, I want to make this make people understand when okay, remember, when I talk to people, you, if I'm talking to somebody, like if I'm doing a business deal, any proposal, anything like that, people judge my mindset through my words. First of all, you need to understand that the schools have a lot of applicants, and we are literally, I'm sorry to say, but I say this even when I was applying, beggars can't be choosers. We are not at a very good negotiating place. Now, 100 is decent enough to apply, good enough, but remember, it's a comprehensive, it's a holistic way at most school look at. TOEFL needs to be good. I suggest aim for 105. That puts you in a good situation. But if somebody has a master's, or somebody done volunteer work with US Air Force, or somebody has done 5 years of associateship and 2 years of dental assisting, comprehensively, their application is going to be given priority. I have seen people who have gotten accepted with 97, with 92, is because they had a master's from United Kingdoms. So there are a lot of other factors. If you say I've given like more than enough attempts and I'm not getting more than 100, it's fine. Try to figure out other ways to improve your profile. And the biggest issue that we need to look at, that it is one of the key thing is the way you communicate to school, the way you fill in your application. Most people overlook it. They are so much focused about their exams and stuff, but when it comes to their conversation, when it comes to their writing, when it comes to their communication, they are not doing a good job to the school. When it comes to your personal statement, your supplemental application, the way you communicate really makes a difference. Trust me on that. If I'm not even a dental school, if I get 5 messages or 10 messages in a day, the person who wrote it in a most professional way, most probably I'm going to answer them first. So yes, TOEFL matters, exam matters, volunteer work matters, dental assisting matters, ADAT and these. But on top of that, how you present your application, how you communicate will matter as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for answering both the questions. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Dr. Michelle, I think you
Hi
were.
there.
Yes, well.
Hi, Dr. Adriel. Thank you for all your information and your videos. They've been really great and helpful.
Thank you.
My question is, I made a list of schools that I wanted to apply to, and basically narrowed down and applied from there. And I got an email from one school that I didn't apply to because I don't have any US status. They emailed telling me that I should apply. I was just wondering, like, I know a lot of universities don't do that. If it is worth giving it a shot.
Well, if they said apply, then apply. If the God came down to earth and tell you to do something, then you do it. If the school themselves is telling you to apply, then apply. If you spend $3,000 already, spend the next 300 too. What difference does it make now?
Right. It was just one of the criteria that I didn't meet was having the US.
But if they are saying apply, if they said, if you're saying they emailed you and told you, then apply.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Yes. Dr. Rabika, I hope I'm saying this right.
Yes, it's Rabika. Thank you so much for taking my question. So my question is, I gave an interview at one of these schools, and the interviewer basically at the end of the interview told me that, we will get back to you. It's a long process. Just be patient. And in the meantime, keep in touch via email. But I personally don't have any questions as such, but I'm just kind of afraid that I don't want my like them to forget me or something just because I didn't keep in
When did they
touch.
do the
But I
interview?
don't really have anything to
When
keep
did
in
they
touch.
do the interview?
The interview was a week ago.
Which place was it?
This was Colombia.
Colombia. Yeah, give them some time. Maybe it was a month or two, maybe then.
So you suggest not trying to email them or anything because I genuinely don't have anything to
they
email
say
them.
keeping in touch doesn't mean they want to chat with you on a daily basis. Maybe after a month,
Okay.
it makes sense. But right now, week is
Okay.
too
Yeah.
early. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Got
Give it
it.
a
Thank you.
month or two. If it's that time,
Mhm.
maybe you can ask them for like, oh, I just wanted to thank you, and I wanted to make sure that if there's any further documents you need from me, I can
Mhm.
provide that. Maybe but that's
All right.
a month later.
Okay.
Because
Got
right
it. Thank you
now
so much.
they mean they are still interviewing people. If it's a week ago, they are still interviewing. So I wouldn't bug them. Okay, Dr. Hittel.
Yes, doctor. It's
How do you
Hetal.
Hittel?
Uh, s- so I have one question that one of my LOR contains physically written date. Is it valid or not?
I think with the signature, most people write dates, so I think that should be fine.
Okay.
If
And
not,
one
then
more
school will tell you.
Okay. And one more question about CE courses that some of CE courses I have attended during my dental education. Uh, should I mention that or not?
What did you say? Your C course has what?
I mean, uh, when I was in a dental college back in my hometown, I have attended few CE courses. So should I mention that
I
in
don't
my
know.
application?
This is your call. If you have
Uh-huh.
enough space in your resume, you can. Otherwise, if you
Okay.
don't, then don't. Resume
Okay.
2 to 3 page maximum.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Don't think no. Dr. Ruby.
Hello, Doc. I have a question, an interview question. Can you hear me, Doc?
Yes.
Okay. So it's about leadership. Like, tell us a time about when you led a team or about your leadership. So, can we give an example from our school days? Like when I was, like I held consistently, I was held the monitor of the class.
You can. There's no right and wrong. You can always give any example which you actually feel was a leadership role. What they actually want to hear is not what it was, whether it was basketball or school proctor or your class representative. They don't care actually about what it was. What they care more is what you learned out of it.
What you learned.
So
Okay.
the more focus is how you explain that responsibility and the
Mhm.
things you carried out in the Dr. Esther, can you mute, please? I've a couple of times muted this. It's just I don't know why it's just randomly going on mute. Okay. All right. So does that make sense, Dr. Ruby?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, doctor. I got it.
Okay. Dr. Aisha, you had a question, Doc.
Yes, Doc. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate your time. My question is about UM and Kira, Doc. I have already given San Antonio, NYU, and Indiana. So I just wanted to know, like, is there Kira different from these schools? And if you have any
It's
information.
similar. I have a lot of information, but I can't access my phone. I have a list of questions. Did you buy the prep video from me for NYU or anything?
No.
Okay, all right. But I can tell you, I think it's similar to it, but they ask one question is there, why UMNN? And do prepare, tell me about yourself. But as compared to Indiana and San Antonio, there will be things that are similar.
Okay, Doc. Thank you so much. I've watched all of your YouTube videos. I just wanted to know, like, if there is anything different that I need to be prepared for. UMN,
These two
well,
things that I can tell from the top of my head. I do have recorded session. If anybody else want to buy, it's up to you. But the main two things I can tell you, UMNN and tell me about yourself, like why UMNN and tell me about yourself will be there. Yeah, those are the two things that I remember which are different from other schools.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc.
Sure thing, Doc. Dr. Sanchita, if I'm saying it right, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, hi. So I just wanted to ask, like, I'm a reapplicant and I had a few invites in the last. Any guidance for the bench? I'm a 2023
I
graduate
don't
from
know,
India.
Doc, if you've seen my videos, but one thing I try not to teach or give advice, and this is something I know, one thing that you run away from, people pull you more into towards that. And for bench exam, I keep saying one thing, go to Stevenson. That's all. If anybody asks me, my answer is Stevenson at this moment. Unless I get to a point where I start preparing and teaching that. But as of now, the best resource I know is Dr. Stevenson or otherwise Dr. Duggan. I know there's a lot of other people who teach, but I don't know them. I don't vouch for them. But when it comes to that, what Dr. Stevenson's video, take prep from him, that would be my best advice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good thing. He has good videos on YouTube. Dr. Vanika?
Thank you so much for taking my
Sure thing, guys. You don't need to say thank you. It's fine. Just
actually I am preparing for it. I haven't given my exam yet, but I just want to know if you can share something about managing finances. I don't have any co-signer in USA. So is it possible to still
to be
go
honest,
ahead?
I waited 4 years to become, I waited 4 years to become a green card holder before I even think about applying. That's what, so I don't know. For Indians is different, for Pakistanis is different. So everybody's situation, I can't give you financial advice on that. Neither do I work with a bank who can loan. So and banks loan differently to Pakistanis or Afghanis or Indians. So I think it's better off you ask people from your own country and community what they have done, because a lot, most probably you are from India, right?
Yes, I'm
So
from
yeah,
India.
there are a lot of candidates who are Indian who've been getting accepted from India. So better off ask them who are coming from your background, and they would have better answers.
Thank you so much.
Sure thing, doc. Dr. Lizard.
Yes, doctor, my question is about Colorado University bench test. Do you know if they do a in-person interview the same day or it will be just a bench test?
I can tell you from last year they did not. They just did a bench exam. That's what I know from the previous year. And
Oh,
if
okay.
they would tell you in the email if they were doing it.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Sure. Dr. Ruby, you have a question?
Yes, doc. So if they ask like why you chose dentistry, so could we give 2 or 3 reasons, or like it could be only one reason?
There's no right and wrong. You can give more than one as long as you need to communicate. Doc, it's hard for me to. Yesterday, I was telling this to people, like a student. My biggest challenge working with people who think interviews are like an exam. You can say 5 things and you can say one thing, and both can look bad. And you can say one thing or 10 things and both can look good. Conversation is an art. It's not a MCQ question. So you can say multiple as long as you know what you're saying and you know how to converse.
Okay. Thank you, doc. Thank you so much.
So briefly to answer, you can say more than one as long as you're saying it in the right way.
Okay. Thank you, doc.
Yes. Dr. Chia?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Adriel. My question is for the why NYU or why UMN question. Do you think looking at the school's website and mentioning family support, are they good enough reasons? Or can you provide some insights to answering that, please? Thank you.
Well, the answer that you need some, in order to provide that answer to somebody, I have to sit down and work with them to know what they have done in the past and how you can like use, like this is a one-on-one interview questions preparation. I won't be able to answer like, and the problem is if I give you an answer right now, there are about what, 40 people listening to this, and imagine about 500 will listen, and every person will say the same thing up there. It doesn't make that answer any suitable. So I don't want to give a quick fix or something like a template. Then 50 people are going to be using that and it's going to be meaningless. So when I prepare people for interview, there is something you have to find unique or something that you have done which might be similar to NYU or what NYU does or Minnesota does, and you connect with that. So you need to find in your resume or the activities or in your experience that you have done something that might be similar to NYU. Maybe you've taken some courses at New York or NYU or greater New York conference. So something you have to dig something in your resume that can make you uniquely connected to that school or that area or something like that. Because if I give you a generic answer, it's just going to be what you read on Google and everybody reads it too. Does that make sense, Doc?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Sure. Dr. Mandi.
Okay. Hi. My question to you is, like, if we are fortunate to get an invite, then what tips or guidance would you provide so that we can convert that invite into an acceptance, which is a big challenge?
Now, I know you usually ask me this question a lot of time on WhatsApp, and to be honest, that's what I've been making 4 years of videos, and most probably you've seen most of them. And
yeah, true.
Those videos are the best thing I can tell you, as long as free content is available. Those are if because those, I don't know, like in 4 years I've said so many things in so many details in different ways, I won't be able to repeat. So that would have more advice in detail. So there is a whole playlist of interview prep on the YouTube, and I can share it in the group. So if I was you, I would go through all of those videos, and when you listen, you might hear something that you might find useful, or you might find something that you might say, okay, this makes sense, I can use it, and take that and write it down and create an answer for yourself. By the end of the day, that's the best way I can tell you for free preparation. As of this time, you watch those videos, you get the idea, you get some term, and you write it down and you kind of use it.
I do that, and they are quite useful. So, and at times when you are low, so that really turns out to be quite motivational, your videos. So I often watch them.
Yep, that would be the best thing I can tell you at this time. That just creating you use the print, you hear the idea, but you mold it to your own way. That's the best thing. So
right.
that requires some creativity, but that would be my best advice. Doctor,
thank you.
Sure thing. Dr. Victor, you wanted to ask a question?
Hello, doctor. Yes, I did have a quick question. After the bench test in Colorado, how long does it take to get the acceptance or the rejection email? Do you know? Like, is it 2 weeks, a month, or what's like the time frame?
Again, doc, I have, it could be a couple of weeks, but that I don't know how the school administration work every year. They have different challenges, but should be within a month. Again,
all right,
I keep requesting, I keep telling everybody, when it comes to timeline, it can vary according to the school offices and everything. I am not inside the office. I'm outside sitting with you guys. So I can't give you the exact answers that you are looking for when it comes to timelines. Because in the school, these are offices, things goes up and down, changes happening, and they work according to their own feasibility.
All right, thank you, doc. I understand. Thanks.
Good. And if I was you, to be honest, doc, when I was, and somebody might say it's easy for you to say it at this point, but to be honest, when I was in your situation, I would focus all my energy on the bench exam. And I would say, even if it's going to take a week, take 2 weeks, as long as you're going to give me a positive answer. I don't worry about what the timeline is. I'm more worried about getting a favorable result. And to get a favorable result, the main thing you should be focusing on is doing really, really, really well in the bench exam. With interviews, you can play around with words. You can be a very good looking, likable person who gets advantage. But when it comes to freaking bench exam, if you're a millimeter off or you nick the adjacent teeth, you're done. And the people who are competing with you, some of them have 8 years of dental experience and have been practicing for 3 years every day for bench exam. So you're competing against monsters up there. These are giants. Even for me, I would say these were when I saw people who were accepted with me, they were like practicing for years. So if when I was in your situation, I would be less worried about the timelines and more concerned about making sure whatever I do puts me on the top of the game. Because they can reply you really fast and you get a negative answer. That's no fun. Okay, Dr. Rishab, if I'm saying it right.
Yes, doctor. Hi, Dr. Adriel. My question was if like I'm planning to apply for both residency and DDS programs this year. So I read somewhere like they were saying that if you have applied for a DDS program in the same school, it's not a good idea to apply for the residency too. Can you give a little more idea on that?
I agree. I don't know how the school work exactly, but if they get to see your application is lying in two different departments, I I presume sometimes it doesn't get overlap, but if it does get overlap, it just makes you look like a confused person who doesn't know what they want. And that's not a good place to be at. Then both your money got wasted. So to be honest, if I was applying to one university, I would only apply to one program.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Sure thing. Dr. Rafi, you want to add something?
Yes, thanks for giving me the chance. I have a basic question regarding my letter of recommendations. So first, should my letters of recommendation be dated by my professor? Also, one of my letters of evaluation is 1.5 pages long. Is that a problem? Should I concise it to one page?
Length doesn't matter, but it should be dated. Length doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. But
Thank you.
it should be dated. Yes, the date on any document, date should be there.
Thanks.
Good. Dr. Suma?
Good afternoon, doctor. I'm an MDS grad, so from my home country, specialist in pediatric dentistry. So I have a question here that even I would like to apply for both the cycles of ADA pass and Caapid. So I have a question here that if I did shadow something other than the pediatric dentist over here. So if how it may affect or it may not affect
Where did you shadow?
In Texas, yeah. So I'm from
No. Where did you shadow? Which department? Which place? Which school?
it's a general dentist, and for a couple of period and for a couple of months, and after a while, I have shadowed an orthodontist even. So, here if I want, as I'm a pediatric dentist from my hometown, and if I would apply for the ADEA pass application cycle pertaining to the pediatric dentistry in the universities over here. So, does this shadowing opportunity that I have made under the specific doctors like DDS, general dentist, or an orthodontist would affect me going to a pediatric dental school?
Yeah, here's the thing. It does show you have done a little bit, but to be honest, it's up to God to give you decisions, but pediatric residency is equally competitive right now as compared to oral surgery in US because for some reason pediatric dentists over the past couple of years have started to make more money, a lot of money, because of the insurance system. And it's becoming very competitive to get accepted, even for the local DDS student. So if you want to apply, I it's like ignorance of like I want to tell people like it's far easier to get accepted to DDS than to get accepted to residency. People do get accepted to residency. I'm not saying, but in order to get accepted, you need to now you're competing. First, you were competing other Indians, you were competing Middle Easterns, you were competing Albanian or a foreign trained dentist coming from Turkey. But now you're competing the local DDS person who grew up in America, who's American citizen. So if you think you're just gonna the chance, and I'm again saying I could be wrong, But from my knowledge, if you're just going to apply and think you're going to get accepted, the chances are very low. I've done interview on my YouTube channel of people who did specialization and stuff. One of the key things they see is if you've done any fellowship, like a year log, 6 months, if you've done any preceptorship in the department, in an academic school, and you have actually gone and seen what a post-grad residency looks like in the US. Those are some of the key things that they are trying to see. And I think, yeah, you can mention you went and shadowed some dentists, but in the academic world, they don't really care much about those people. And I'm sorry to break this news to you, like it kind of sound a little bit cynical, but I'm just being practical. If you're applying to one of the most competitive residency program in US, you need to up your game in that. Just, yeah, you were a specialist at home, but America doesn't care. They
Yes.
mainly care if you've done any work inside a pediatric residency and seen the system before even applying there.
Okay, and yeah, thank you for this question. And I have a few, just a few questions over here.
So,
here also.
okay, you can ask one more, but I gotta give other people try to. Okay, go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Yes, go ahead. You can ask one more, Doc. Dr.
Yes,
Sima?
thank you. Yeah, I got it. So actually, you have mentioned about the CV pages, the number of CV pages that we need to concise it in 2 to 3 pages of max. So if we tend to make our CV courses here and from our home country, it makes a lot. So if what if it extends more than 3 pages?
Doc,
Will I
it's
be
called,
fine?
first of all, Doc, the
Yeah.
thing that they use in US is resume. It's not a CV. CV is a curriculum vitae, which is much more of a detail, and you can Google this. It's a much more detailed document. A resume is a brief introduction to what you have done. Now, I can't go into detail and tell you what to remove and what to remove because I don't know your CV, but a resume is supposed to be around 2 to 3 pages max.
Oh, thanks for it. I will look after it. And one last thing is, what is the maximum amount, capital amount that we need to procure prior, like this application process? What it takes for this to, like, how many dollars do we
Oh,
keep aside?
I don't, again, you're asking me things that are very vague. I've said in my video back when I was applying, on average, applying to one school is $300 to $400. Okay. Now, obviously, this was 4 years ago. Consider it to be 400 to 500. The people who are currently applying, they will tell you that it's getting more and more expensive. The traveling, the interviews. Stevenson has gotten more expensive. I have gotten more expensive over time. So, I would say on average, applying to one school, consider $400. And other people can tell better if I'm in the comments, if I'm saying it right or wrong.
Thank you so much, Dr. William.
Sure,
Thanks. I
sure,
appreciate
Doc.
your time. Thank you.
Sure. Dr. Shruti, you had a question?
Hello, Doc. How are you today? Thank you so much for holding this session.
Sure. There was another Dr. Shruti too. So after that, she can ask question. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Was it for her? I can mute myself.
No. Go ahead.
Okay. So I got an interview from UIC and they have an in-person tour on June 12th. So would you advise me to go in person? Because last year I was waitlisted and I didn't go in person. So
Imagine
it's a
if
good idea to go.
imagine if you are hiring somebody as an employee, as an assistant, as a housemaid, whatever you want to say, or you're
Okay.
like, you have a friend, you're making a friend. Would you rather want to see them in person or you want to see them online?
Definitely in person. Okay. That answers my question. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Sure thing. The other Dr. Shruti who had raised her hand.
Hi, doctor.
Yes.
Thank you for this time to prep.
Sure thing, guys. No need to say thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, doctor, I am I graduated long back in my country. It's been
How
almost
long
18
back?
years. I had my own practice for past 10 years. So I just moved last year here and came to plan and did my NBD. After coming here, I decided to do it. I did 6 to 8 months of assisting with a surgical center. So I was just thinking, does that look good?
Well,
for my
if you ask me, if that's not bad, but usually they want to see a assisting of 1 year. If you can continue to work in a general dentist, even if it's a surgical, it's fine. It doesn't matter, but keep
yeah.
doing it.
I'm
At least,
doing currently also
yeah. So
continuing.
keep working on it. They like to see a consistency of 1 year of dental assisting.
And do you think any schools which are like more keen towards old-time graduates, or is it like
All of them,
maybe both?
most of them take everybody. When did you graduated?
Doctor, it's been quite a long. I have 18 years of work experience now.
As long as you didn't graduated with Gandhi or Jinnah, you're fine. Hey, dog, I don't know if you've seen, I did a video with somebody who got accepted to school at 52. I had two class fellow at the age of 57, 55 in Colorado. So
Okay. Oh, that's
yeah. So I think you should get rid of this question. I have somebody who's in her 50s. I worked with her. She got a bench exam invite in Colorado. So doesn't matter.
And doctor, how like there's a preceptorship program coming in, so I was
Where?
going for it,
Where?
but I'm not in Washington.
Yes. Okay.
So I was just thinking, will I be able to, like, already the cycle will get over now, till July we can apply, June, July. So will that be will it value me?
I don't know why people are running again after this cycle only. I would say just do it because you don't if you don't have an acceptance in your hand right now, that means you're still on the road,
Okay.
right? If you're on the road and you say, should I get more fuel in my car? I'll say yes, get more fuel. You never know how long you have to be on the road. So just do it if you can. And Washington preceptorship, I know one candidate who did it. She stopped replying me, but I wanted to ask her what she as last time when I talked to her, she said it was pretty hands-on. Boston is robbing people. I'm sorry if somebody from Boston is watching this, but they just make you stand and look how things are going. You don't do anything hands-on. Washington is actually more hands-on preceptorship. So yeah, if you're still in the process, you don't got an acceptance, then do these things.
Okay. And last question is about ADA pass and match. I am not any postgraduate from my country, so and not done even here. So is that also a good choice to go ahead and do it or
Again,
not?
and I don't know if you heard what I said. It's easier to get accepted to DDS. It's much more difficult to get accepted to postgrad because you're competing with people who are local. They're local. If I come from Afghanistan and to India and then try to compete with the local people, the local person will get more accreditation, will get more advantage. So I don't know if you want to apply, go ahead, but the chances of that is very low as compared to DDS. Now, again, it's your choice what you want to do. And I do not work, it's not my area of expertise. I don't know why past questions are coming more, but I don't work with it much because the chances of people getting accepted is very low. I had people just to open up. I don't know if people gonna like my answer. This is gonna break people's heart. But there was a person who was a 1998 graduate from Pakistan. So he must be my teacher's class fellow. Then he went to South Africa, did a PhD in endodontics, worked as a faculty in Riyadh, did a DDS with me in Colorado, and when he applied to endodontic residency, they did not accepted him. Okay, just to give people a reality check. And there was a DDS, 23 years old DDS student from Colorado who got accepted. He did not. Okay, so they give, I don't know why people have, and even after you get accepted, you have limited license. So unless you really, 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 really love a specialty, and if you really love, then do a fellowship in that. Go and work in that department, spend time in that department, and then apply. If you're doing dental assisting just in GP practices and then planning to apply to any, and I'm not saying it to you, doc, I'm saying it to everybody, and they think we're going to send in an application and the residency people are going to say we're going to push all the American kids away and you're the most beautiful person we want. That's not going to happen. The chances of that is very few. The
Got you.
people who, and again, I'm not saying this to you, Doc. I'm telling it to everybody. The people who got accepted to endo residency did like orofacial pain residency, then did a fellowship, and then got accepted. And that's freaking 5, 6 years of education and money before they get accepted. Rather than that, do your DDS, get your license, and go and make money.
Right, correct.
Again, this was not for you, Doc. Don't take it
Thank
personally.
you so much,
I was
doctor. Okay.
telling everybody who's dreaming about residencies, yes, you can do it if you're really in love, but do not treat it like a TDS. DDS is way easier. When it comes to residencies, it's a whole different ballgame. Yes, Dr. DP.
Hello, doctor. Do you have any recommendations for bench test scores, or is it like a mandatory thing to go for? What do you advise for it?
Did you listen to what I said about 15 minutes ago, Doc, on that? Okay. Most probably you didn't. I said to people that I don't train much on when it comes to bench exam. I don't like, I made a video and I recommend people, yes, you should train for it and go to Stevenson. If you can't go to Stevenson, go to Duggan. Now people will message, say, oh, there's another person in Texas. I don't know them. I don't care. I'm just telling you the best person to get training as of now. If I start something of my own, I'll let you. But right now, if when it comes to bench exam, go to Dr. Stevenson, or if not, Duggins. I said it 15 minutes ago earlier too. If somebody is like, I hope rest of the people are listening to this. Does that make sense, Doc? Dr. DP, can you hear me? Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Did this make
Yeah.
sense? Did
Yes,
this?
doctor.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
And
somebody.
any recommendation to approach the ethical questions to Kira?
Have you seen my YouTube channel?
A couple of videos yet.
So there are about 2 playlists, about 20 to 30 questions. I spent about 20 to 30 years of my hours of my life making those videos. So I'll share that link. Remind me in the group. Watch
Sure.
videos. There are much more in detail, and that should prepare you. If you want further preparation, I have recorded sessions which are much more in depth, in detail. Remember, people ask me, what's the difference between your paid content and your YouTube? YouTube content, including this video, is generic information. That's where I keep things journalized. When I have something which is paid, it's much more in depth comparatively. That's why it's paid. So before anybody wants to buy something, I tell them go and see the free version and see if you want to pay. So in your case, there are videos that I made. There's a playlist on Kira talent assessment. There's a playlist on ethical scenarios. So you can watch all of them. That can give you some idea. And then after that, you want more preparation, you can buy the video I have and the questions as well. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Good thing, Doc. Okay. I'll come to Dr. Hital. After 5 years of residency, can we work everywhere in US? I don't know about that. Every state is different. Some state give you limited license. Some state don't give you any license. Some state give you GP license. So you have to figure it out with the state you're going to be working in. So Dr. Hital.
Hi, I have a question, but I'm confused. So, I have worked as a dental assistant for 6 to 7 months, and then I have a gap for 6 months. And now I started at the same clinic and started shadowing. Does it sound complicated in my application?
If you tell them in this way, yes, then it will. It all depends on how you explain things. All the people who are in this group, they are complicated people. Why? Because they are migrating from their home country, came to US. I promise if you guys start to explain how our family system works back home, whether it's India, Africa, Afghanistan, how we do businesses, how we have, like, there will be so many things. If we tell them, they won't understand how the marriage system work, how the in-laws work. Americans won't understand, they will go crazy. So it all depends on how you explain things. So it's not complicated, it's all about how you explain in your SOP, in your interview.
Okay, thank you so much.
So, Dr. Michelle.
Hi there. Would you recommend going to open houses or campus tours without an invite? So Western University is having one. Does that make any difference with your application?
Can anybody who have seen my videos in the past year answer this? Okay. Doc, I've been screaming my lungs out for years and telling that one of the reason I got accepted to schools, 4 schools, and I've been telling everybody since like December, every year, I say, try to go for as many virtual or in-person tours as you can. That's my, like, that's my holy grail. That's the key thing to make a stronger impression than the rest of your peers by going physically there and meeting them. I got an opportunity to sit there's a GPR program. I go for it's not like a full-time residency thing. I was doing a part-time residency thing in implant, and they have a full-time residency AGD program. So the program director had a meeting where he was selecting candidates, and I got to sit in that meeting. And I asked him, on what basis do you accept people? The grades? He said, not even the grades. We do see how many times they came to our place and shadowed. And if they worked along with the team and they seemed like a good team player. That's one of the key things we are looking for. So if you are getting an opportunity and if you have the finances to go and visit, do it.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Sure. All right. What other questions people have? Somebody asks if Dagan have more courses and it's less expensive. I don't know about that. I don't work for them. You're asking me things about that. I've never been bothered. I just know Stevenson teaches better because the people who were studying with me in Colorado who got Stevenson courses were far better with their hands too. That's what I know. Because Dr. Dagan don't teach himself. He has people who does it for him. So that's my answer. But you can go and Google the rest of the details. Now, the next question there is, if you're comfortable, can you share the path of getting a green card if you have a master's? Well, the way to do it is you have to find a job somewhere in America who's willing to sponsor you. Usually, non-profit organizations are a little bit better. There is every year with the government and the things changing, there is no fixed rule. I say you pray to God and you hope for the best. You find a job employer who's willing to honestly apply for your visa and help you out. All right.
Doctor, I can answer the question for the doctor who asked for Dr. Duggan's course because I recently did his course. And the thing that you said that he does not teach himself is actually not true now, because previously it was maybe true 2 years ago when he was working with Megan, which is his daughter-in-law. But now he's no more connected with him, and he has his own institute, which is Duggan Oral Design, and he teaches there by himself. And one thing I would say about him is he is amazing, and you won't regret spending your money. If you can go to Dr. Duggan, definitely go for it. You won't regret it.
That's funny. He started a place, he sold it, and then after a few years, he started another one. That's funny. That's like a dental clinic. Okay. Okay.
So actually, the place that he sold, he actually was under pressure. He told us the whole story. It was his son and daughter-in-law. They blackmailed him actually to sell his place, and then they were not like being nice to him and not paying him enough or something like that. There were some family issues, so he then decided to separate himself from them. And that lady, the egg, it's it's her is ex-daughter-in-law actually now. So that lady is still using his name, like Duggan Institute something, and so like it's a family thing
So,
that.
moral of the story, thank you for sharing. Find a good if you have a son, be careful who he gets married to. So that's the moral of
Yes,
the story.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
the actual point is, if you're going for Dr. Duggan, then go to the real Dr. Duggan Institute.
exactly.
Don't go to Megan.
Because Megan is not even a doctor. She's a dentist. She's an artist by profession. So she's just using his name.
I just know from my time, like I know in the past 2 years he wasn't working, these people were, and then I just know from my again, Dr. Duggan is good too. Just people who were studying with me in Colorado who went to because Stevenson, Dr. Richard Stevenson was actually a program director of UCLA. And then he was a professor emeritus. I've never met him. He doesn't pay me to market him, but I know people. I studied, so I was doing. I never got to when I applied for Colorado. COVID came in. I was gonna go to Dr. Steven. The flight canceled twice, so I could not go. Then they did a virtual exam and I got in and I had to work a lot inside the school every evening to get good with my bench exam. One of my friends who taught me was actually person who strayed from Stevenson. And that person told me tricks and things about bench prep, about typodonts. Maybe Dr. Duggan does it too. And I was amazed because doctors, I think, well, both of them are good. Whatever you can afford and your time availability works, go for it. Okay. All right. Next question, guys. Anybody else want to ask something beside bench exam? There is one question. Maximum amount of capital required to apply to dental school. Dr. Suma, I think I've already answered, but approximately 400 per school, and you should apply to at least 15 schools. So you can do the maths from there.
And does it differ to like application fee? Does it differ for applying residency and applying the DDS schools?
I'm trying to convince everybody and trying to tell you guys that I don't work with residency,
Yeah,
so I don't
yeah.
know.
Sorry,
I don't
sorry
know
to.
the exact number of money spent in that. I mainly, Adriel works with Caapid. Adriel is inside Caapid, right? So
Yes.
Caapid, I'm saying, I'm giving you a rough approximate. Some school might be more expensive. They need more document. They need all that blah 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 and stuff. I'm just giving you a rough idea. I'm not very good with nitty gritties. I don't do like I don't go into nitty gritties at time unless I really have to. What I'm saying on average, if I was applying, I will say, okay, I'm applying to 10 school, 400 per school, 4,000. Then you can do the maths. And my suggestion is apply to 15 schools at least. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yeah, of course. And one last thing. Actually, I have been as a volunteer in Texas Mission of Mercies and also in TDA meetings and all as a speaker host. So, for which I have given the certificate or number of hours I got volunteered. But there is no any such letter of volunteering for me given by the organization itself. So for the schools like Indiana, who mainly focus on the letter of volunteering, apart from these academic things. So even though I have a background check as a good active prospective volunteer in my CV and all, sorry, in my resume and all. So uh, does it affect if we don't provide them any letter of
Then
volunteering?
then in those school your application won't be entertained.
Okay.
That's their basic requirement. If you don't have it, they won't entertain.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dr. Doxy, you, if I'm saying it right, I'm sorry, Dr. Yun.
Hi. Yes. So I just have a quick question. So, I finished applications in April, the middle of April. What's the month that you can say you're not getting any
I
interviews,
think
so you
April,
can start preparing?
no, that April is not late. It's not late. I wouldn't say it's a bad place. And now if your application overall depends on doc, again, Applying early is important, but then your SOP matters, your TOEFL matters, your overall supplemental application matters, right? It's like multifactorial. If my car is creating a noise, it can be the engine, it can be the gear, it can be the tires. Like it's multifactorial. So if you applied in April, I wouldn't say it's late.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. What other question you guys have? You're more than welcome to ask me. What happens is, the funny thing is, most of the time when I finish the call, there are like 4 people who will send me message. And I'm like, well, why didn't you ask me at that time? Yes, Dr. Ahmed. Yes, Doc.
Hi, Dr. Adriel.
Hey, Doc.
Yes, I'll come to you, Dr. Chia. Let me just take Dr. Ahmed and after that, okay?
Yes, Doc. I gave up my interview at Colorado at the last cycle, and I got a question from my interviewer, and he asked me, this one was about at the end of the interview, he asked me, do you have another question for me? And sometimes I get like a little bit nervous because I'm not prepared for this type of questions.
Okay.
So what are your
Okay.
insights on this?
So recently I made a video, it's on my channel, that I tell people, like in the end of most interviews, they will ask you, do you have a question for us? And what my suggestion is, people would reach out to me, say, what can I ask? What can I ask? And I tell them, do not ask them if you don't have anything. Dr. Stevenson says this, what I've learned from some of the people who went to him, that if you don't have an answer, don't have a question, don't ask. Because people think if at the end of the interview they won't ask a question, they won't look intelligent. And what somebody did was they end up saying things which can annoy other people. Somebody asked the school professor, do you know how much is the rent near the school? And the faculty was like, how, like, if I was him, I would think, I'm a real estate agent. Do I work like in the property department? Like, so a lot of time people end up saying things like, somebody asks, what is your passing rate in ADEX? And the other person was like, does it matter? Like, so my point is, to make it simple, if you don't have if they say something to you naturally, like, for example, if you're going to NYU's interview and you visit there and you see something or they say something that creates curiosity in the conversation, ask them. But other 90% of the time, if you don't have a question, just respectfully say, thank you for your time. If I have any questions in future, I can email you. End of story. Does that make sense? Okay. I hope that makes sense. Dr. Chia?
Thank you, Dr. Adriel. My question is, I have volunteering experience in a hospital where we provide support for mental health challenges, right?
Mhm.
And in my Tell Me About Yourself, there's so much I want to talk about. And in the 3 minutes, I think, do you think I should mention my volunteering experience, or
You can, if
can
you
I
feel like
skip
it's
that? Because
if you feel,
it's in the application
Doc,
already.
if you feel like it's an important part of your life, if I feel basketball was an important part of my life, or going to church was, or taking care of my grandpa, it doesn't matter. If you feel like it was important, you can include it. Nobody is stopping you. It's a book about your life. So if you feel like that's an important part, you can include it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right. Any other question, guys? What's the time right now? Okay. Yep. Any other questions? All right. It seems like
Hi, Doc. Sorry.
Yep.
I just have a quick question. So I'm done with applying to all schools, and you know, the only thing that I wanted to ask was regarding my personal statement. So I actually used the whole 5,000 to 200 characters, and at some time I even felt bored myself reading the whole thing. I was wondering how other people have written their personal statement. Like, did you use the whole characters, or
You
was it
can,
like shorter
Doc,
than?
Doc. I say this in my videos and stuff, that the problem with being a dentist and then being a desperate dentist from another country, what we do is whenever we see a hole, we try to fill it. Dentists love to fill holes. So whenever
That's
there's
right, yeah.
a mental application, when there's a personal statement, if we see 300 characters, we want to make sure we want to fill in 300 characters. And what I've learned, and I've interviewed people, and what I've told in my videos is, the more brief you are, the more intelligent you look. You're hearing questions right here. There are people who can say one question in one line, and then there are people who would take 7 lines to say the same question, right?
Right.
As a human being, you would like that person who's more articulated and direct to the point. And imagine if you are working in their place, who's the office person, and have to read about 1,700 applications or 1,000 application coming from the similar countries, similar background, similar experiences, and then there's one person who's more direct to the point, who's saving their time and saying the more important point straightforward in an articulated way. Obviously, you're going to like his letter more than the rest of the people. That is the key to communication. So what is bygone is bygone. In future, I would recommend to make your application. When I write people's personal statement or something like that, you want to forget the number of characters. It doesn't matter. It's not because you wrote more than 5,000, you will be given an A plus. That's
Right.
not the way to look at it. Just
Yeah.
imagine you were in their place. How would you want it to be?
Yeah, when I wrote, I felt like everything was very relevant, and I wanted to sort of prove my journey, like sort of make sure that they understand what my journey was. But looking hindsight, and maybe I've read it a million times already, and that's why I'm getting bored reading the same thing. That's also a
But
possibility.
the point is,
Uh,
Doc, the what's bygone is bygone. I would be not.
yes, yeah, exactly.
And the
Yeah. I
supplemental,
wouldn't, yeah.
in the supplemental application, you can be more precise, and like that's where an area you should think about. But what's the bullet is out of the gun, so don't worry about that part.
Yeah. There's no point crying over spilled milk, so I'm just going to let it go and just hope for the best.
Yep. You can work on supplemental and just be more. And it takes practice. Even when I write something, there are times when you never felt it's ideal, or we are not writers. We are not going to a literature class. The point is, personal statements are objective. What
Yes.
might seem to be a good novel or a book to you might be worthless to somebody else. So it's comparative. So as long as you should enjoy your personal statement, and it should be audible to the American ears. That's what's important.
Thank you, doctor. Yeah, I hope it works out.
Sure. Any other question, guys? So few of the things I'll tell you, people who are preparing for interviews and stuff, there are certain things I can guide you through videos. So in the videos and stuff, I can give you general principles of ideas. I can give you my own example. If you want a little bit more in depth, I have some recorded videos. Those are like 100 to 150. I try not to make them super expensive, so people can get access, watch it. That's the best I can. And then there's a personal. I do personal preparation too for interviews, where it's a little bit expensive, but I give you access to a 3-hour video. You watch that, then I read your personal statement and your resume, and I do 2 hours of Zoom interview call. In that, I ask you questions like, tell me about yourself, your strength, your weakness, your leadership role. Why should we pick you? What do you want to do in long-term plan? Why do you want to come to NYU? Why do you want to come to Boston, Buffalo, UCLA, wherever you're preparing for? And when you give me answers, I help you rephrase them. Like I rephrase your answers back to you, and it's recorded for you. So you can go back and watch it. And the way I work with you is I try to prepare you for all the schools. Like when I gave UCLA, Colorado, NYU interview back in the days, I realized there was a common pattern between all of them. They were asking the same questions in different ways. So they won't say, tell me about a failure. They will say, tell me about a regret in your life. Well, a regret is a failure. They will say, tell me about a lesson you learned in your life. And you will realize a failure is a lesson, a regret is a lesson. So if I have one answer, I can answer three questions. In the same way, they will say, tell me about a time when you had stress in your life. They can say, tell me about a time when you learned, dealt with a difficult situation. So both the questions actually mean the same, but the wording are different. So when I started to see this, I saw a pattern. So I tried to utilize that to help you create stories out of your life. And they will be recorded. And later on, you can go back, watch it, write down your notes. And if you have any question, you can ask. Except for this, one thing some people I work with fellowship program. I don't know if you've seen it on my social media and stuff, but it's a little bit expensive where I work with you throughout your whole application, writing your personal statement, resume, writing, helping you with schools to apply, LORs, interviews, everything. And I work with you until the end, until you get accepted. Whether it's one cycle, two cycle, whatever it takes, I will work with you as a coach until you get accepted. The only caveat in that is there are certain things I look in an applicant before I work with them. Your TOEFL score, your overall compliance, if we can work along. So that's an important thing that I see. So those are some things I just wanted to share that I can help with. Yes, I do help with personal statements too. At this time, I charge $600 to rewrite your personal statement. And yes, I was doing reviews, but I'm unable to do reviews anymore. It's just with interviews and stuff, it's not possible. But okay. Any questions, guys? Anything you want to ask? Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Kevi.
I have a question. So if there is a question like tell me about a time when you have done something which is not required for that particular case or something like that.
What do you mean, which is not required for that? What do you mean?
A thing that you have done which is not required for that particular
So
situation.
what do you mean required for that? Like
I don't remember the question completely, but
first of all, if you ever get any, this is for everybody. If you get an interview question where it's not making sense, you can always ask them, can you elaborate it? Like, what do you mean? Like, can you elaborate it, doc? And they can tell you, like,
I think it was in Kira.
They can ask you, have you done something where you had to go above and beyond your means to help somebody or something? It could be something like that. So if you tell me the exact question, I can help you. So
maybe in a research, if for example, in a research, tell me about something you have done when you are doing some research. Tell me about something that you have done which is not required for your research. Then what can I tell at that time?
So there are a lot of different ways. If they ask you about research that you've done something that wasn't required, you say as a part of a team or a group, there were activities that weren't required by the research, but we had to do it. Or I personally do it to be a good team player. And there was one time when one of my colleagues got sick and I actually helped them finish the assignment, did the Excel sheet or did the sampling or whatever was needed because it wasn't required by the research, but I personally felt as a team player I need to help and be a good team player. So that's what I did.
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
makes sense.
So
Yes.
somebody asked, what are the other services I provide and what's the pricing? So doc, for the interview one-on-one prep, for most of my recorded sessions, I charge 100 or 150 depending, like Kira's are like 150. And most people who have watched it, I shared some questions if you're preparing for NYU. So I have a recorded session for NYU. I call it the mother of all Kira, because they started off, it prepares you for NYU, Kira, UMNN, like that. I have a separate one for Columbia. I have a separate one for Casper. I have a separate recording for Tufts as well. The reason I did separate because people kept asking me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do a separate one. And I have some previous questions from there as well. Usually each recording will cost you about 150 for Kira. Then for the interview preparation, what I did a group session for Colorado in which I go through interview questions that were asked to me in Colorado and other school, including ethical scenarios and these kind of things. So there's a 3-hour video. You can buy that. That's for $100. You can do that. If you want the one-on-one interview preparation with me, that's $600, dog. And now you might be thinking, why the hell this guy gets to charge us so much money and try to create a fortune? The actual thing is, doc, when I have to sit down and work with you, I'm taking out time from my family and my clinic time. And I did it for 200 once upon a time. I did it for 300. But at this point of my life, I can't work with too many people. I have to create a certain barrier where I provide quality, because what happens if I start working with too many people, I go crazy. I can't provide quality, and then it becomes a havoc. So, and there are certain costs to me. This is a business. I I I didn't want it to. I had to hire a coach to help me out because there were too many people messaging me. The coach told me, put some recorded videos, make it cheaper for people, make a WhatsApp group, help them through that. So those are certain things I have to pay to. Now, that, like, I don't want to go into detail, but hopefully in future you guys buy a clinic, you realize that being creative is one thing, even though you love to do it, but making it consistent and doing it every day, you need to create processes in a business. Like if you work as a dental assistant, your office manager will say, we have 10 minutes of assistant time, 1 hour of doctor time. And now I'm realizing everything you do you need to have systems. And now I get burnt out, and I have to create systems. That's why I have to charge a certain amount of money or resources to provide some quality of work. Now, when it comes to the fellowship program, it's expensive. It depends if I pick the right person. At this time, I charge about $5,500 to $6,000 for the whole fellowship. I know most of people are going to wake up. What the hell did he just said? Yes, the $6,000 is for the whole thing. And there might be some people up here who have worked with me in the fellowship, and they will tell you if it's worth it or not, because you can pay in installments. You don't have to pay the whole thing in one go. I can understand it's a lot of money, but trust me, when I start working with candidates, it's a lot of work, because I'm writing your personal statement, your resume, I'm picking up your calls, I'm talking to you, you're throwing your bullshit at me, I'm throwing my bullshit at you. And it just, as a coach, that happens. It happens. You have to work with those people. And I'm married to their problems. I have to work with those people until they get accepted, whether it's preparing them for Kiras, for Casper. The only thing I don't prepare them is for a physical bench exam. Except for that, I work with everything until they get accepted, regardless of how long it takes. Now, somebody told me that I've already written my personal statement, my resume. I've done half of the things. At this point, it doesn't make sense paying you 6,000 or 5,500 or whatever it is. I said, yes, it doesn't make sense. And if somebody at this point of time wants to do it, I can do it for less money, for 2,000, and we can work till the end of this cycle. After March, if you want to continue, you can pay the rest of the remaining money and we can do the whole fellowship. That's an option. But I try to find ways where I can make things cheaper, but I can still continue to provide service. The problem is everything I have to be there, and it's just a lot of toll on me as well. So I hope I find ways where I can help more people without pulling myself out, like without me being there all the time. It's just something I'm trying to figure out. But if you have any question, you can let me know. And otherwise, we'll just end the call after this. Do you have any question about the next candidate? Go ahead. No, I don't, doc. I think they sent 3 cycles. I don't know when the third one is. I don't know the exact dates, doc. I keep telling them I don't have it. That's a school thing. Okay. All right. Any question, guys? For the interview prep, I would definitely suggest watch the playlist. I can share in the WhatsApp. I'll share this recording too. The free videos will help you a lot. Trust me on that. If you have time, if you're somebody who calls me, Doc, I don't have enough money and you are charging a lot of money, I was in your place. I've been there. Trust me, I can understand. And if you're willing to stay committed, you can watch all the recording, take down notes, and I can promise you that should help you to get where you want. That's another way to do things as well. But I wish you all the best. I hope some of your questions got answered, and I'll share the recording in the group. Thank you. Take care.